What is going on, my scary living friends out there? It is a beautiful day outside. So, of course, I'm gonna spend it inside talking to my phone. As you do, right? Okay, so I am back with another one of Cody's Campfire stories. And the story for today, this happened a couple days before Halloween, which it's kind of weird thinking how much stuff has happened in like the last 2 years, because every one of these stories that I've told has happened within like the last 2 years. But this, like I said, this one happened before Halloween, and it was at a cemetery. So to give a little bit of context into what we did, I went and I hung out with my friend who lives in the same city that the asylum was in. And there's supposed to be the cemetery in the middle of town that was supposedly like haunted. And the reason it was haunted because there was somebody there who put a curse on her gravestone. If I remember, I'm gonna put the picture right here. But essentially what the curse said was she cursed anybody that would block the sunlight from hitting her grave. So me being, the dumbass that I am, I was like, I'm gonna do that. Like I'll block the sunlight from hitting her grave. We'll see what happens. We'll have a friend for our Halloween party later. But there's a giant tree. So like the tree, like the gravestone's here, the tree's here, there was no sunlight hits it at all. So couldn't really do that. But whenever we were there was something pretty interesting that kept happening, and just it just kind of stopped like abruptly as well. It started abruptly and stopped abruptly, and that's essentially what the story is. So hope you enjoy. Here it is. Okay, so it is about 3 days before Halloween, and we decide we're gonna go walk around the cemetery. So with the cemetery, it was super old because where we're at, it's kind of this old historic town, and it has just a bunch of different graves. There's some newer ones, there's some really old ones, like some of the old like Revolutionary War graves. That's literally just a stone, and all you can really see is that at some point in time there were engravings on it. Other than that, a lot of them you couldn't make out because of how old it was. Now, this cemetery sat in the middle of a town. There were houses around it. There's roads, so you would think once you got there, you would be hearing cars, traffic, people talking, just the common inner city noise. But the first thing I noticed when we got there was there wasn't any of it. We pulled in and there was a car parked, but that was it. We saw the lady, she was there. I guess she was there like visiting a grave or something, because she left shortly after we arrived. But the first thing I noticed was I got out and it was just weirdly quiet. Like I said, there was no inner city noise, no traffic, even though there should have been two busy roads on either side of it. So that was the first kind of like, that's weird. Like I said, it was just really quiet. There wasn't even really the noise of like animals. There were a bunch of trees and stuff, and normally with trees comes birds and the wind blowing through the leaves and squirrels. And you're like, okay, they'll be running around, scurrying about and making noise. None of that. And I noticed, all right, that was a little weird. So then me and my friend, we start walking around, looking at the different graves, trying to see if there's any cool graves, if there's, trying to find the oldest one we could find. And just kind of study the history and look, because it was really cool. It's one of those old like ornate cemeteries, so a lot of the gravestones they're really nice, really decorative. And so we were out there walking around, and then we found the cursed gravesite that we were looking for. We were going off the guide, and it said, "Oh, this grave is beside." What was it? It was beside a certain family. We'll call them the Smiths. It's like this cursed gravesite is beside the Smith family plot. So then we finally found the plot we were looking for. And then we found the grave that we were looking for, the one that's supposed to be cursed. And whenever we got it, and I said, oh, hey, here it is, I looked up, and there was like this other, it was a big cemetery. So if it was this big, if we were standing here, this person was over here. And I say it's a person because there was just this lady walking, but this is where the story gets weird. So whenever I'm standing at the grave, I look up and I see this girl walking, which that's, I mean, again, that was kind of spooky because the gravesite we were looking at was a female. She was an old outlaw during, you know, like the 1800s, early 1900s, and she was the one that cursed the gravesite. That's who was buried there that we were going to look at. And whenever I found the grave, I was like, oh, here's her gravesite. I look up, there's this girl, long hair down, covering her face. Of course, right? A black shirt, black pants. She's just walking. Her walk looks a little funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't like a normal walk. Didn't really look like anything other than her frame was moving. Like, it almost kind of looked like she was just floating forward almost. Like, she wasn't really swinging her arms, her hips weren't really moving, and her legs didn't really appear to be moving much either. And I looked at my friend and I said, hey, where did that girl come from? She's like, I have no idea. She wasn't there before. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. And she was always a good distance away from us. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. And, you know, we're sitting there talking, just doing the thing. You know, she's still in the back of my head because, like, that's kind of sketchy. And then I look again and she's just gone. Like, this girl is just gone, vanished. It's like, okay, you know, like my friend, I said, hey, that's weird. Let's go to another part of the cemetery. So then we go like up a hill a little bit and we go down, and there are these really big trees. So again, you would think there'd be birds, squirrels, like the wind was blowing, there was a nice little breeze, no sound in the leaves, no nothing. So then we walk over there, and that breeze that I said we felt, it just stops. And it gets really dark, and it gets a little cooler because we're in the shade. And we're sitting there like, okay, looking through the graves, and I realize it's like, it sounds like there's something like walking in the leaves over there. But we look over, you know, there's nothing. Like I said, there's no breeze, there's no squirrels, there's no birds, but like you're hearing the noise like there should be something in the trees or walking through the grass, walking through the fallen leaves, but there's nothing there. And while all of this is going on, there is still no noise from the town that we're in. No cars, no horns, no people talking, no anything. I'm like, okay, like I said, this is starting to get weird. The whole time we were there, it felt like, you know, like there were always people around us. I'm like, okay, so we saw the girl in the black clothing with long black hair walking weirdly. Now we're in this old part of the cemetery, and it sounds like there's stuff walking around like in the trees and the grass by us. Okay, that's a little weird. I was like, all right, so this is weird experience number 2. Let's let's leave this part. So then we walk back up the hill, back in the direction of the cursed gravesite that we saw before. Then we get up there, and I start talking about the grave again, the cursed one, of course. And I look up, and again, that same girl from before, with the black hair, black shirt, black pants, once again is walking in our direction. Same weird walk, just not turning her head, no nothing like that. Like I'm like, like what the hell's going on? Like, it's genuinely starting to, you know, like weird me out. I'm like, hey, you know, like, again, I don't know where she came from. I don't know where she went before. I don't know where she just came from. Like, literally, it was like we looked down, looked up, and now this girl's walking towards us. It's like, okay, okay, cool, whatever. Let's go to another part. So then we went to the farthest side of the cemetery from where we were before. And now we're looking at really old ones. Like, these are some of the OG graves here. They're the little stone ones about that tall, and you can't even tell. So they're just the stones. Some of them didn't even have any markings on them. So we're like, okay, you know, hanging out, just doing our thing, talking. Then I look up again. And once again, this same girl. I don't even know how she kept magically being able to walk in our direction, because there's never really any of like the little walkways through the cemetery, but she was somehow always walking in our direction, like straight towards us. Same long black hair, like down over her face, black shirt, black pants. And that walk, like, you know, whenever you walk normally, you know, like turn your shoulders a little bit, her arms go forward, nothing. It was just kind of, she was like going like that. At this point, I'm like, this is weird. Maybe, you know, I was willing to play with fire. Maybe I got burned here. Maybe this is what I get for being willing and standing in front of and trying to block the sunlight from hitting that girl's grave. Because that happened, I don't know if I've said this before, but I tried to do that before we ever saw the girl the first time. And I was like, okay, maybe this is what happened. And that's when my friend says, like, you shouldn't have played with the curse. And now, now you have to deal with this. I was like, yeah, man, maybe I really do. It was, like I said, it was really weird. That was the last time we saw her. We walked around after that, and we didn't see this girl. She didn't walk out of any of the exits or any of the entrances because we could see all of them. This girl just completely vanished. This is what also made it weird. This whole time, we were there for like half an hour. We didn't once hear a car. We didn't once hear people from the town around us talking, yelling, any of that. Not to mention, this is a college city, so there should be plenty of traffic, plenty of all this stuff. And I know some people will be like, oh, well, if it's a college city, maybe somebody was going for a walk or going for a run. Yeah, I want to think that too. But the fact that she was always coming towards us, and the fact that it was like 80 degrees outside and she's wearing a long black shirt, long black hair down, first off, like, I'm not a girl, but I know most females, whenever they go out and exercise, they put their hair up. It doesn't hang straight down, like, in their face. But it was long black shirt, long black pants, and it's 80 degrees outside. I know for a fact that would suck. So I don't really know. That's kind of what made it really, like, weird for me. And that was, that was, like I said, later we looked, we never saw her appear anywhere else walking around after that. It was just that little instance. And we never saw her leave after that. She was just kind of gone. And to this day, I don't know what to think about it. And it's really, I don't know. It's kind of weird because after that happened, there's been like some other weird things that have happened to me, like back here chilling at my house. That's just a completely separate story that I'm probably going to get into, but it's really weird. I really do think there's some correlation between going and being willing to participate in that curse at the gravesite and the mysterious appearance, disappearance, and reappearances of that girl in all black. But anyway, guys, if you like this, leave a like, a good old thumbs up, comment anything you want to see down in the comments below. And other than that, I really appreciate y'all. I've been getting a lot of pretty good feedback on these. And if you have any stories you would like me to read or share, or if you want to have your own story and tell part of it on here, let me know, and I would love to make this something that y'all thoroughly enjoy. So with that being said, peace out.